Alright, what is up everyone? It's Taylor here from AfrofishOG. Sorry this took so long to get to, but we finally got to the final part, 12 through 1 of Shea Fearless's just reacting to every Mario Kart 8 Deluxe course ranked. This has been a long time coming. I finally had the chance to actually sit down and get this filmed out. And like I said, sorry it took so long. But with all that, we're jumping right into the video. Also, remember, I think Mount Wario is going to be number 1. So let me know in the comments what you think about this list. If you've watched the previous ones, please let me know. And let's just get going.
Olympic Winter Games!
Hey, have you guys ever noticed that
And I'm wrong.
Mount Wario is referring to a mountain named after Wario, but it could also be misperceived as a command of a sexual nature. Has anyone pointed out that wordplay before?
Okay, that's enough.
So,
Well, damn.
Mount Wario, one of the biggest fan favorites in the whole game. I'll fully admit that it kinda took me a really long time to see the hype with this one. I always thought it was good, but nothing crazy, and I figured people were getting swept up by the fact that it was 3 sections rather than having laps. But the more I played on it, the more I finally understood its appeal. I mean, it's a damn adventure. You jump out of a plane, ride down these icy slopes, travel downriver into the dam, the trees, the bumps, the gliding. There's just so much variety. This is the definitive way to experience a Mario.
This is how a lot of the tourist courses should have been. I think Mount Wario, when it comes to the sprint course, is by far the best one of all of them. And I think that if they would have done this with all the tour courses, it would have been a lot more enjoyable.
Themed Winter Olympics. Apologies to that one series where you're actually at the Olympics. It's a shame it can't compete with the glory of Mount Wario. I love so much of this course. Like, that first lap has the best looking ice in the whole game. Probably even the whole series as well. It's like, damn, that looks cool. Hey, did you guys notice that cool is referring to something that is neat, but also low in temperature? There's twists and turns, stellar music, and as I said before, a ton of variety. Okay, I guess I better address why this isn't S tier for me. It's just the tree part, man. I'm sorry. I really don't like this part. Dodging all of them is so difficult for me, and I don't care for the logs jutting out of the ground that are supposed to give you tricks. I also don't like how tiny and unsatisfying these snow bumps are. Like, look at the Wii version of DK Summit. Those are perfect sized bumps. Here, they're so small that I just don't.
Okay, this is one of the few where I was like, I've talked about before about how they're being nitpicks. This one is definitely a nitpick. I don't agree, but that's me. I'd actually probably would put this high up on my list, higher than 12.
I find these ones satisfying. Other than those tiny issues, it's a perfect course. I know, right? How dare I rank Mount Wario as low as the top of A tier? Oh well, still a banger, and it better be on the top of the priority retro course list for the next Mario Kart. Yeah, Mount Wario got claimed by someone. I know, shocking, right? Let's see who it is. It's Odyssey Central.
Among a cup filled with phenomenal courses like Sunshine Airport, Dolphin Shoals, and Electrodrome, Mount Wario stands out, at least to me, as the best course in the Star Cup. Each section feels distinct. You start by racing down the icy mountaintop, then you enter into a cave before exiting onto the side of a dam, which then brings you into a forest. I always run into a tree. And then the final section has you race down the bottom of the mountain with a ton of turns, bumps, and even a glider. More than any other track, this genuinely feels like a journey. Personally, I think it's nearly a perfect track.
That's what I'm saying. It's a perfect track. I don't really know. Like, I get it. It's his opinion. I just don't agree with that one. That one to me is an S tier by far.
One more day to revolution. We will nip it in the bud.
So in case you haven't been following all the DLC releases for this game, the first half of the Booster Course Pass was pure agony for Double Dash fans. I mean, we got nothing for the first 3 waves out of 6. And it stung even more because Waluigi Stadium was data mined to be coming to Wave 3. We were so excited to see it, and then no, we're stuck with Maple Treeway instead. How dare they give us a course that's actually kind of better? But come on, Double Dash fans are dying. Fortunately, Waluigi Stadium made its grand debut in Wave 4. My personal theory is that it was probably delayed since it revolves around half pipes, and they needed to work out the kinks with those. So instead they gave us Maple Treeway, which only has one half pipe. But hey, that's just... Anyway, maybe it was for the best that this course got pushed back, because for some bizarre reason, this might just be the best looking track in the entire Booster Course Pass. Like, it's insane. It's absolutely up to the standards of the base game, and it just makes my eyes happy to look at. Again, I must ask why the dirt in this course looks like chocolate when the chocolate in Choco Mountain looks like dirt. Priorities, guys. Anyway, I do want to get the one problem I have with this version out of the way. They tilted the Piranha Plant cutouts upwards for some reason, and now they're just not obstacles. I don't get the thought process there.
I will say that's fair. Yeah, I think it's more for spectacle. Like you're going through underneath them, but they should have just kept them the same.
But with that said, the enhancements to this course are still more than enough to make it my favorite version and an absolute S-tier track. They just straight up added new anti-gravity paths that you can reach by strategically half-piping. There are options now to grab an extra item or glide to the finish line. It's super exciting, and I love how tricky it can be to get on these paths. Coupled with the stellar look of the track and frantic music, it makes for an absolutely wonderful remake of what was already one of the best courses from Double Dash.
It's time to stop!
If you guys thought I loved TikTok Clock before, oh my god. The glow up with this version is insane. Probably one of the best in the entire series. It's so much more visually dynamic and mechanically satisfying, with tons of new trick opportunities and options.
I get it. I do really like this course. I'm not 100% on it. Let me know if you like this one. I don't know. I don't know if I'm 100% on it.
Glider reminiscent of the one in Music Park, and a much stronger and tighter theme throughout. The finish line is an alarm clock? Are you kidding me? That's awesome! Plus, there's schematics on the walls, Roman numerals to race on and to see in the background, colored gears. I mean, are you seeing this? It doesn't resemble a retro course in any way. Like, this remake of a Mario Kart DS track could totally fit as a new course in the base game of 8. They made one of the coolest tracks in the history of the series even better somehow, and I
actually have never played the DS version. That's why I don't do a ranking on it, but that's really cool.
Couldn't be happier.
He was in here tonight, raving.
Electrodrome was one of the first courses I singled out as a personal favorite when I first played this game in my sophomore year of high school. Good
I'm not a fan of Electrodrome.
Lord. And through the many years, this track has persisted as one of my absolute favorites in the game, making exceptional use of anti-gravity and alternate paths, while also delivering such a cool rave atmosphere.
Whoa, slow down, Maurice.
It kind of feels like a spiritual successor to Music Park, while also standing out as its own thing. There really is
I did like Music Park though. That was actually really cool.
nothing else like it in the series thematically. And it always feels great to watch that streak of light your kart produces on the one road and light up all 5 of those panels right before the big glider section. Speaking of which, not that this matters, but that first glider section when the track begins is really pointless. Like, you can easily just boost across this pit. It's very tiny, but oh well, it doesn't matter. Electrodrome is the very definition of a standout, and easily my favorite of the original 16 brand new tracks in this game. Yeah, remember when this game only had 16 new tracks and 16 retros? Boy, that sure sounds like an easy ranking. If only I got to do that, am I right?
I arranged them into a piano.
3DS Music Park is the very definition of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. When I first got
I love Music Park. Oh, it's so good.
the game, I was initially surprised to see that they didn't add any anti-gravity anywhere. They pretty much kept it exactly the same as how it was on 3DS, just with prettier visuals. But like, is that so wrong? This is a flawless remake of one of the best courses in the whole series, playing just as well as it did originally, and being an excellent choice to bring over to glorious HD. One of the prime examples of a priority retro course done right. I am seriously running out of transitions for these cameos. I am ready to go to bed until New Year's. Anyway, who do we got? It's Tetrabit Gaming.
Music Park is pretty much everything a musician could hope for in a Mario Kart track. Not only does the track have you driving on and around various instruments, including a piano and a xylophone, but driving over these instruments also causes the player to actually play them too, which I always thought was a really nice touch. There's also this section where you can either drive or fly through as a bunch of these happy bouncing fellas do their thing to the beat. And I love the stage not only for its cool visuals as a musician myself, but as a Mario Kart track, I think it's just incredibly fun to race on too.
Autumn leaves.
In spite of how badly Coconut Mall and Koopa Cape continue to get butchered, try as they might, the Mario Kart devs just can't get Maple Treeway wrong. I guess it's impossible. This course is just destined to be S tier forever. Well, I do actually have one tiny nitpick, that being how the big wigglers on this course are more prone to walk towards you now instead of side to side, meaning they're not nearly as much of an obstacle anymore. But that's not nearly enough of a problem to mean anything. Maple Treeway rocks. It's cozy, its layout is great, the new music remix is strong, and while it's absolutely not as pretty as it could have been if it was in base,
It is definitely a good one. I will say, I'm not the biggest fan of this one because I don't remember the Wii version as much. It definitely is good.
Mario Kart 8, I don't know, man. It is still really pretty, and the best this course has looked. I love it dearly, and I'm always super excited to play on it. Grab your friends whenever Wiggler Wednesday rolls around, and give this course a go. I wonder what would happen if we took the camera anywhere I wanted to in this cave. Well, don't look at me. I'm not able to do that. Who do I look like? She Says from Boundary Break? Oh, look at that, it's She Says.
Maple Treeway is one of my favorite courses of all time because of the fact that it's autumn personified. The entire environment is just cascaded with autumn leaves, there's leaf piles, and you're driving around on a giant tree. So naturally, it's easy on the eyes. But not only that, I also appreciate the song of the stage too. And I guess I'm not the only one, because for some reason, the theme of this stage is the only Mario Kart stage that gets a remix in Paper Mario and the Origami King. Probably the most niche thing to ever get an homage that I'm a fan of.
Waluigi.
Pinball Land.
I promise it was just a coincidence that Music Park, Maple Treeway, and Waluigi Pinball lined up in the exact same way they did in the 7 ranking. They're all still just as peak as ever. What can I say? Seriously, what else is there to be said about Waluigi Pinball? This version is just as good as the other iterations of it. They did take out the sound effect that plays when you leave the pinball table, so that's pretty raw. But otherwise, it's the same amazing course as ever. Just now with a vibrant and appropriately gaudy graphical update. There is an argument to be made that they could have done more with it, like it could have tilted parts of the track to add in some anti-gravity. There's also a small subset of people upset that this uses the same music as DS Wario Stadium, since they share the same song in their original game. So I guess those people just wanted them to make an entirely new remix of the same song for this course. I don't really get.
That's really dumb. The weird thing is, though, I don't really remember Waluigi Pinball all that much. Like, I know I played it, I just don't remember it.
Why? Like, if it ain't broke, am I right? So yeah, Waluigi Pinball obviously isn't quite as high as it was on my DS and 7 rankings, and maybe it could have been if they gave it some appropriate updates, instead of staying true to the original version. But as is, it's still Waluigi Pinball, and it's still one of the best courses in the game. Newer tracks have outdone it, but man does it still deserve to stand among them. I just realized that out of the 5 rainbow roads in this game, the only one that got claimed was the base 8 version somehow. This has nothing to do with Waluigi Pinball, I just thought it was absurd. Anyway, here's another editor bud of mine, Bustercore.
Waluigi Pinball, baby! I love Waluigi, I love pinball, combine them together with an appealing neon aesthetic, and boom, peak game design. They even took the item box sound effects for this course to make it stand out, so you know you're playing something special. It's simply the best Mario Kart course of all time, and I hope the Crab Man thinks the same.
Super toilet.
I remember hearing the rumors about the fabled bathroom course that was coming to Mario Kart Tour. Like a lot of people, I was like, huh? What do you mean there's gonna be a bathroom course? Like, that didn't make any sense. Is it a way to tie into the movie since we see the brothers plumbing? Or is it just because they're plumbers in general? I don't know, what a weird theme idea. I wasn't really looking forward to it at all. Then it came out, and turns out it's one of the best courses in all of Mario Kart. I don't understand.
This is a very weird course, because I think, like, when you look at the whole concept of, oh, you're just in a bathroom, it's like, oh, okay. But the way that they did it, it works. And I think I would put this in a high tier as well. Probably would put this in an S tier for myself. It's just really good. I don't know what else to say about it. It's really weird, but it's really good.
Why did you go this hard with designing a bathroom track? It's probably the coolest shrunken down course in the whole series, since most of GBA Ribbon Road's gigantic elements are in the background. Here, there's just so many cool things incorporated into the track design. Going into the sink and the bathtub, which has sponges to drive on and bath bomb boosts to take, then riding down the drain and passing by a wedding ring that got stuck here, getting blown by a fan and avoiding soap, and catching a boost off the toilet, which only overflows from the second lap onward, thus allowing for dynamic track changes between laps that are completely optional. Like, this course would have already been S tier for its imagination and varied design. But then, they went ahead and included an entire optional route on this shelf that continues if you glide to the right past the finish line. Like, hello? And this is on top of having some of the most whimsical, catchy music in the whole game. Again, why did you pull out all of the stops for the bathroom course? I don't understand the thought process here. But man, I feel like I could dedicate an entire video to talking about every cool detail on this course. In my opinion, this is the Booster Course Pass's true heir to Coconut Mall, Waluigi Pinball, and Daisy Cruiser. That truly insane, unconventional idea for a track that ends up being one of the best in the entire series. I can't believe I'm saying that about the damn bathroom. Also, we need to talk about the alternate language versions of this course's name. Squeaky Clean Sprint is kinda whatever to me, not the best thing you could have called it, especially not compared to the French name, Race to Cleanliness. The Italian name, Race in the Bathroom. The German, Bath Course. The Portuguese, Sanitary Course. The American Spanish, Bathdrome. And the best one of all, the European Spanish, Accelerated Toilet. From now on, I'm only calling this course Accelerated Toilet. Holy shit. Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom for a bit, and in the meantime, I'll have someone talk to you about Accelerated Toilet. And that someone is... Nathaniel Bandy.
Squeaky Clean Sprint. It's a big bathroom. Like, what more do I really need to say? You drive through a sink,
I feel like this bathroom course was made on a dare. Like, hey, I bet you I can make a bathroom better than anyone else. And the guy's like, okay.
Drain with a wedding ring, very cheeky, through someone's gross bidet water in a bathtub with a toothbrush in it. Whose bathroom is this anyway? Is it Wario's? Luigi's? Kamek's? I don't know, but this track is absolutely banging. Not only is it a really cool concept, but the design itself is really well integrated and everything flows so nicely together.
It's Big Blue.
Big Blue is easily the best non...
Yes! Oh my god. Okay, so, sorry. I love, like, F-Zero and Captain Falcon. Like, Captain Falcon is by far my favorite Smash Bros. Character. And, just seeing Big Blue up on here is classic. Also, the music for Big Blue is just amazing, so listen to it.
Booster Course Pass track in the whole game. Very few things in Mario Kart give me as much of an adrenaline rush as this masterpiece of a course. Between the boosts, conveyor belts, alternate pathways, rushing water, and the electric atmosphere courtesy of the music and visuals, this was the perfect course to end off the base Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, cause they really outdid themselves with this one. It's just outstanding and near flawless. There's never a dull moment to be had on this roller coaster thrill ride. See, this is kind of what I was hoping Water Park could have been, but oh well. F-Zero fans really needed this. I guess if I had to nitpick anything, the very last stretch is the weakest part of the course, and it's not as cool as Mute City's downhill descent. But it's not a big issue. In fact, it works pretty well, since after all those twists and turns, all that excitement and insanity, being able to see the finish line right in front of you and make a mad dash for it can make for a pretty hectic and enticing end to this banger. One of my absolute favorite courses in all of Mario Kart. Even if it needed another franchise's help to be that. Oh boy, our final item box cameo. Give it up for my friend, Uncultured Swine.
So, F-Zero X is one of my favorite games of all time, which just so happens to be the forgotten middle child of a franchise that hasn't seen a significant release in 20 years. But, you know, I'm starving here, so I'll take what I can get. The integration of the shield charge base filling your coin meter is pretty clever, and I get giddy every time I come up on lap 3 and they play the announcer voice from X that goes, I mean, what did I tell you? I'm starving here. As an actual track, it's still fun. Right off the bat, you can pull off a really long drift through the charge bay, and hopping between alternating directional treadmills on lap 3 is a fun mechanic. Overall cons, not enough blue. Regardless, when I can get one last ride in a Happy Meal-sized Blue Falcon with F-Zero music blasting loud enough to wake up the neighbors, I'm happy.
Are there any other rainbows I should know about?
As soon as the data mines revealed that the final track of the entire Booster Course Pass was from Mario Kart Wii, we all immediately knew which one it was. There was no greater ending to this entire package than Wii Rainbow Road. And now that I finally got to play this version after over a year of build-up, yep, it lived up to the hype. This is an absolutely enchanting iteration of a true masterpiece of a...
I would agree. I love all the Rainbow Road coaches, but this one definitely is amazing.
Of course. Much like the new DK Mountain, it's not quite as difficult, but I don't see that as nearly as much of a detriment because the atmosphere on this track is unmatched. It fills me with the same joy and amazement as this game's version of N64 Rainbow Road did when I was 16. The gorgeous design of the road itself, coupled with the amazing skybox and majestic remix of that classic song, it's just indescribably wonderful. I'm genuinely having trouble putting into words just how good of a remake this is. I mean, they got everything right. The star bits are still here, the sound effect when you hit one of the bumpers is back, but the thing that really got me and made me realize how special this remake is the fact that when you fall off the course, you still burn up into a fireball. Like, considering this is the team that didn't add the sunset to Sunset Wilds, the idea that they would go out of their way to include this detail didn't even cross my mind. I mean, Lakitu picks you up immediately in this game, so what would be the point of you burning up when you fall off? I'll tell you what the point was. It was to craft one of the most lovingly accurate tributes to one of the most iconic and beloved courses in Mario Kart history. I have no real complaints with this remake. Even the lower difficulty is kind of a boon because the lack of frustration means you can be more entranced by the sights and sounds of this unforgettable masterpiece. I cannot think of a better ending to the entirety of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe than this. Well, maybe I can, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
Hey, you're that ninja.
I'm actually kind of speechless. Ninja Hideaway is one of the greatest courses I've ever played in a racing game.
Yeah, it's definitely cool. Like, it's one that you probably wouldn't think of, but it's really cool.
It's so far above most of the other tracks in Mario Kart for me that it's kind of unreal. This is a course that thrives off of its alternate pathways, ensuring that no two paths are entirely alike. It's a Mario Kart course with honest-to-God platforming in it. The absolute thrill of boosting off of the bamboo and gaining enough height to make it to those 3 pillars and start the final stretch of the lap from an elevated position is just unreal. Tricking off the bumps in the roof is a fantastic addition, as is the optional glider ramp right before the finish line that you can use to reach an alternate path you couldn't access on the first lap. Until, of course, it converges with the place these stairs led you to, where you can drive atop these platforms and hopefully time it so you can boost onto the higher level.
I didn't even know you could go through all these.
Edge. But if you do that, you'll miss out on this unique hidden shortcut. A perfect reflection of the ninja theme, as if the rest of the course's aesthetics didn't already nail it. There's just so much course in this course, to the point where I never feel like I see it all in a single race. I just can't believe this is real. Like, this was our first impression of how ambitious and incredible a non-city tour course could be. And yet, none of the other brand new tour tracks quite topped it. Not that I really expected them to. I am hoping and praying that this and Accelerated Toilet is the standard for what we can expect from the next full Mario Kart game. Tracks that are ambitious as all hell, with a plethora of extensive
Accelerated Toilet.
optional alternate routes, and a perfect encapsulation of their creative theme. The only issues I can really muster for Ninja Hideaway is that having random propellers floating in midair to boost you looks a little bit silly. And graphically, the course could look a little nicer, especially the background details. This is very much a Wave 1 course, and you can tell. But other than that, this is one of those courses that just makes me feel alive whenever I play it. It's incredibly exciting, and I've had a blast on it every single time. Except for the first couple races where it was pretty tricky to get the hang of. I was a little mixed on it at the beginning. Then I got good, and this is where it's ranked now. Crazy how that works. Alright, that's 95 entire courses talked about. It's all been building up to this. The greatest track in all of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And I think it's pretty safe to say the greatest track in all of Mario Kart, which is... I don't think it could have been anything else. 3DS Rainbow Road is the first ever retro course to be my #1 pick for a game, which also makes it the first course to be #1 on 2 of my lists. And there's a very good reason for that. It's just flawless.
I think we also kind of all knew that Rainbow Road, or not Rainbow Road, but like, yeah, no, Rainbow Road would probably be someone's favorite.
And this remake is a flawless version of it. I guess the moon could be a little brighter, and they also took out the little sound effects to play on the boost panels at the start of lap 3. But those are my only nitpicks. Otherwise, they nailed this HD recreation of the best track in the whole series. The space background and the road itself are both simply gorgeous. Much like Wii Rainbow Road, it just enchants you with the beauty of the visuals and the music, while also coupling it with this thoroughly majestic journey across everything space has to offer. I don't think I have much more to say that I didn't already say in my 7 ranking. It's just indescribably brilliant. One that I'm so glad more people have the opportunity to experience now. For as negative of a reputation the Booster Course Pass frequently gets, I think it's really telling that 6 of my top 10 are from it. It had its fair share of stinkers, but I think the masterpieces it brought into Mario Kart 8 made it more than worth it. Hell, the entire DLC was worth it for 3DS Rainbow Road alone. It is undoubtedly my pick for the greatest course in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So that is every Mario Kart game's course.
Damn, that was long. But we finally got through it. So, #1, I think, I probably would have had Mount Warriors #1 because that's just personally my favorite. But overall, I like this list. I mean, we definitely had some ones that I agreed and disagreed with. There was quite a few if you've watched the other ones. But we have finally hit it, We finally got it. Like, we're at #1. Now, if y'all want to see me do my version of my favorite courses, let me know. I'll also be doing rankings for other games as well, such as Elden Ring, Persona, and more. But with all that being said, I appreciate you all for watching and following me through this. As always, I'm Taylor from AfrofishOG, and I'll catch you all in the next one.